G'day everyone, meteorologist Mark Mulner here. How's everybody getting along? There is Major Hurricane Fiona. And take a look at this. We got our next storm that's going to traverse across the Caribbean. But is it really going to do what the GFS says it's going to do? Look at that. Just south of New Orleans by Friday, next Friday, September 30th. Is this really going to happen? Is it really going to head this far west? Or is it going to do what the Euro says it's going to do? Traverse across the Caribbean and get picked up more quickly by an East Coast Trough. We'll take a look at all the details in this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. All right, here is Fiona. Look at this. Category 4 storm. It is a solid 4. 130 to 160 gusts. Look at that. And that's going to head up just to the west of Bermuda here. Take a look at that. Sliding past Bermuda, 130 mile per hour winds. This is likely for your early Friday morning at 2 a.m. And look at how it barrels towards the north. It's still a Category 3 by the time 2 p.m. on the 23rd. And look at this. It becomes extratropical, post-tropical, but still 105 mile per hour winds. That is nothing to sneeze at all. This is going to be one that brings a lot of wind and rain with it. All right, and look at, here is Fiona. It's a massive Category 4 hurricane. Look at that. It's bigger than the state of Florida. It is a tremendous hurricane. Look at that. And yeah, hoping that the worst stays to the west and northwest of Bermuda. Here is our next system here in the Lesser Antilles. This could be our next big problem. All right, let's take a look. There is Fiona. I just showed you the track of Fiona. I'll just show you that really quick again. That's going to go up towards Bermuda. This is by Thursday morning, or Thursday night into Friday morning. There it is. The central core just passing just west of Bermuda. I'm hoping most of the terrible weather just moves just to your northwest, and look how it moves Saturday early morning into Nova Scotia there, really piling it on, and Newfoundland as well. Now let's go back here. This is our next system. Take a look at this. This is moving through the Lesser Antilles early Thursday morning, and watch this storm as it traverses just south of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. You're definitely off the hook with this system. This is Saturday at 2 a.m. Look how it's racing towards the west. It's moving a little faster than originally thought here on the GFS. South of the Cayman Islands, this is by Sunday. Look at this. This system's GFS is kind of heading a little bit further to the south and west than the previous several runs. So let's see what's going on here. As we put this into motion, look what we got going on. This is Monday the 26th, so we're already close to the Gulf already. Yeah, this is a fast mover. Take a look at this. Crossing the Yucatan, the tip of the Yucatan here towards Cancun, and look at this. Re-emerging Wednesday early morning. Look what starts to happen. Is this really going to happen? This is pretty far to the west here. I mean, the trough, I think what's happening here is the GFS is handling the trough along the East Coast a bit slower than the Euro. So the trough doesn't seem to really be kicking in here on the GFS. So it allows the system to bend around the subtropical high, which essentially is building out here in the central Atlantic. So it's going around here according to the GFS, and this trough is a bit delayed here on the GFS. I'll show you here on the Euro momentarily. It's much more progressive. So look at this. This is Friday, 2 a.m., 8 a.m., 11 a.m., Friday, the 30th of September. Yeah, if this verifies, this could be a very big deal for southeastern Louisiana, parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and eventually, potentially, the panhandle of Florida. Look at this. Forming a buzzsaw donut style here. That's not good news. Whichever way this storm goes into the Gulf, it's got a lot of warm water to work with, and that is the worry. Not a lot of wind shear either. Let's back that up. You can see there is a stalled frontal boundary here as well, so we'll watch for that prospect, but I don't think there's going to be too much wind shear, at least through the medium term here. And once it reaches the coast, it becomes more of a inland flooding threat here. This is Monday, October 3rd. Take a look at this. If you're in the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, Monday, October 3rd into the 4th could be your problem day here. Look at this. Just torrential rains into Look at that. Tuesday afternoon, the October 4th. It could be a bad day here across the Northeast, so we'll continue to watch for that. All right, starting off with Thursday morning here, you can see big old Fiona here, Cat 4 by this point. There's the island of Bermuda right in there. So, yeah, it's going to get pretty nasty here. But, you know, this is our big old disturbance here. This is watch what forms out of this with the Euro. And this is looking pretty interesting here as we go. Fiona's pulling away. So watch how, there it is. There's Fiona, center, and there's Bermuda right there. Right in here. So it's going to be so close, the inner core. But nevertheless, you're going to get tremendous amount of, damage there in Bermuda. But look at this. Here is this Saturday, September 24th, this Saturday. Just moving south of the island of Jamaica. So you're probably going to get some gusty winds, some heavy rains, maybe up to 100 millimeters of rain, so to speak there, heading up towards, 2 to 3 inches. Look at this. This is where it really starts to blossom Monday, September 26th. So this is almost knocking on our door pretty quick here. Western Cuba now, the Euro is targeting as a 972, 975 millibar hurricane. And look how it really starts to blow up and blast parts of the Florida Keys. Yeah, the Euro is turning more towards the northeast here in time. Much more different here than we had with, the GFS here, which wants to go further west. Look at that. There's actually, this trough here strung out across the U.S. East Coast, and that's, the Euro's indicating that could help to pick it up a little bit. But I'll show you in the upper air pattern. Look at this. It starts to retrograde. That trough moves out pretty quick, and momentarily I'm going to show you the upper air of the Euro and show you exactly why this wants to stall out on the Euro. So taking a look, here is the upper air pattern. Let's see, there's Fiona. We're going to be watching this system here into the Caribbean. Let's put this into motion here, and you can see there is that big advertised massive trough thanks to all those typhoons going up into the North Pacific here. There's Fiona. It's being steered here by this East Coast Trough into the Friday, into Saturday. You can see they combine forces, but look at this. It is massive blocking time up here in Greenland. This trough's going to lift out here. You can see what's going to replace it. Some areas of high pressure. And look at this. We head towards Sunday. Yeah. Is your summertime and even fall type weather literally pretty much over? Pretty summertime completely gone. Yeah. You can pretty much count on that. There's our next system. It's riding around this periphery of this high pressure system. Now let's see what the Euro, this is the Euro upper air pattern. What happens to this East Coast Trough? Well, look at that. Euro is catching on to something here. There's the trough. Euro is picking this system up and moving it more towards the northeast than the GFS is. Watch this. This trough is essentially picking this storm up, but look at. This is by Saturday, October 1st. That trough lifts out pretty quickly, and look at. It's now blocked by high pressure to the north. So what's it do? It stalls across the southeast. All right, so the GFS does the same thing as the Euro with Fiona. Take a look at that secondary trough kicking in. There is our next potential hurricane heading much further west. You can see that area of ridge, high pressure building towards the southwest, a lot more progressively than the Euro. And look how it brings it into the... Let's back that up just slightly. Look at. So this storm's heading around this periphery of this area of high pressure. Look at this trough. It's much quicker up here a little bit than the Euro. So essentially what happens here is that trough lifts out and it leaves in its wake high pressure. So essentially there's more blocking here in the northern Gulf. So this system kind of just meanders a little bit, and then it starts to move a little bit to the north. And look at this. It's pretty much cut off and blocked here. And then you have a little ridge of high pressure start to build. So it kind of brings it a little bit farther to the north central Gulf. This is a bit of a scary scenario because it moves really slow and then kind of moves inland. And then it kind of combines forces with, wow, that does not look very good there. So looking at the Eastern Pacific here, we have a 70% chance through day 2 through 7 here. Take a look at this. So what do we got going on here? Do we have any sort of landfall potential along the West Mexican coastline here up to Cabo San Lucas? Well, this takes us through Sunday, September 25th. You can see no. It's so that little blip that we had right up here, you can see it. It just kind of slowly goes out into cooler water. and fizzles here. So yeah, it could become a named storm, but it's not going to have much fanfare. And as we head throughout time, it looks like the Eastern Pacific goes very quiet. That allows this big old mess over here to just really blossom. Look at that. Quiet as a bell, clear as a bell over here. All right, now that we got the Atlantic out of the way, let's go to the exciting side of the Pacific first here. Take a look at this. Look at this. So we have some problems here towards Vietnam, South China, over towards the Philippines. We got a lot of moisture heading in. This is heading to the west here. So are we going to see any typhoon in the near term? Well, we have this potential south of Japan. Don't think anything big is going to come out of that, but let's put this into motion. See what's going on. We got definitely, as I said, we got a lot of tropical moisture around Vietnam and over towards the Philippines. And then heading up towards Japan, this feature that may try to develop into something, we'll see. But the big feature, the big show in the short term is this. What comes out of this? So we'll continue to watch it here. Let's continue to put this into motion. And you can see this is by Thursday. At 8 p.m. this Thursday, you see a lot of tropical moisture here funneling in from the east. And as we continue here into Vietnam and South China, this conveyor belt of moisture just continues to head inland towards Friday at 11 p.m. here. And then moisture heading inland up towards Japan, and our intertropical convergence zone east of the Philippines really heating up here. So let's take a look. See what's going on. Are the Philippines going to see any typhoons? Well, let's take a look here. We see some drawing a little bit towards Sunday in Vietnam and South China and the Philippines, but look at this. By Monday here, we see a couple features. This one in particular down here, just west of the Philippines. Take a look at this. This could start to develop into something. We also have some moisture up here towards South China. So this is heading into, here we go, Monday. And this feature may develop into a tropical storm just east of Vietnam, south of China here. And as we continue to head in time, we start to see over towards Japan. Take a look at this. We have a few potential areas that could become typhoons. Are these going to recurve away from Japan? Well, we do have a lot of systems you can see heading up towards Alaska as well. That's going to continue to be a problem as well. But look at the moisture heading towards Vietnam and South China here. And the Philippines staying, over towards Manila, staying pretty good. But look at that. North Vietnam, we see in the northern part of Vietnam, lots of moisture heading inland. And we start to see the development of another potential tropical system. This is Wednesday, September 28th. So keep an eye on this. I think this potentially could become a typhoon later next week. This is September 29th, next Thursday. Keep an eye on this. If you're in the Philippines, South China, or Vietnam, look at this. This really starts to take on quite a structure just east of Vietnam here. You can see. And what's going on with our typhoon over here? Kind of just hanging out near Japan. Watch this. So, yeah, this starts to really move westward here. This could become possibly a super typhoon here. So keep an eye on this. South China, Vietnam areas. And look how it kind of heads towards the north. It kind of gets picked up a little bit towards the north. Becomes a big problem for North Vietnam into parts of South China as we head in time. And look what's going on over here towards Japan. This typhoon doesn't know what to do. It's kind of stuck in between fronts at this point. And look at this. This becomes a massive rainmaker as it moves north and west into northern Vietnam into South China. That could be a potential major problem here. Torrential rains, rainfall totals on the order of 10, 20, maybe 30 inches of rain. And this typhoon just south of Japan continues to just hang out. And you can see, look at all the tropical moisture here across the Western Pacific. All right, so let's take a look at your future radar here. Yeah, things are lighting up overnight. Wednesday night into early Thursday morning across the Northeast. Look at these showers and thunderstorms lining up here from western New York State, western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio. Take a look at that. And it will continue to progress here to the east. I don't think, some of these could be strong to severe. Look at this. This is 4 a.m. So, yeah, if you really want to sleep, early Thursday morning, it's going to be a little bit tough time here. Look at these heavier showers and thunderstorms moving into the southern tier of New York, north central Pennsylvania. Even some big storms up here into parts of New England as well. And look at that. That's actually heavier than the precipitation out here into the plains. So, yeah, the Northeast is under fire here. The potential for some strong, look at that, 5 a.m. torrential rains in the Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area up towards Albany. And more torrential rains with strong thunderstorms as well up towards Maine and New Hampshire. Look at that. That just turns into a massive torrential heavy rain event here across parts of eastern New York. You can see, look at this. Another line of showers and thunderstorms by 8 a.m. Your morning commute's just going to be a mess here across the Northeast. Look at this. Just a big old mess. And look at that. Eastern Pennsylvania, another line heading in. This is 9 a.m. Thursday morning. Look at this. Big time storms. You know, this is more of a heavy rain event up to parts of New England. But look at this. In the New York City area, 10 a.m., Mesoscale models are predicting that a line of storms will move through. Some of these could be strong to severe, so watch out for that. Look at that. Beneficial rains up here in Providence, Rhode Island, Boston, Massachusetts. Look at that. And then look at this. Look what happens behind this. A big old lake effect mess here. The streamers start coming off Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. It's going to feel blusterier and much colder. Temperatures are going to be falling through the 50s and into the 40s. There's 4 p.m. for your evening commute. Look at that. Showers and maybe even a few grapple showers in there. You know what grapple is if you live near the Great Lakes, those little ice pellets that mix in with the rain. Look at that. It's just lake effect all the way through 3 a.m. Friday morning. Look at that. And that kind of clears out for your Friday. A very clear and calm Friday. All right, so taking a look at the high-resolution Euro, where is precipitation going from late week into the weekend into early next week? Well, you can see the lion's share of the precipitation, the Northeast, the plains. That is before Tuesday of next week. Now, you start to see South Florida really starting to get hammered here. That's with the potential of that next hurricane. So, yeah, let's go up into the Northeast here, and we will take a look at totals. Take a look at this. So, heading through, this is Thursday for the most part. We will see some bands of showers moving through. Most of these will not be severe. They'll be just regular garden variety showers moving through, as well as eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, into New England as well. Let's see as we head through the rest of Friday, Saturday. It's not till Sunday we start to pile on more precipitation. You can see there with that next system, a warm front moving into the area. So, you know, for the most part, it won't be too bad, but we'll get some beneficial rains. This is through Wednesday next week, you know, averaging up to 3/4 to 1 inch possible. All right, so take a look. HRRR model, we'll compare that to the high-resolution Euro. This takes us through Friday afternoon. Yeah, those storms and showers that I showed you for particularly early Thursday morning, they're showing up on the order of a half, 3/4 of an inch of rain here. A lot of this is really early Thursday morning and heading into parts of New England. Look at that. We're averaging up close to a half to 3/4 of an inch with locally higher amounts towards an inch possible. All right, Robert Stone, this is from the Dunkirk area this past Monday, September 19th, Western New York. Take a look at the heavy rain. You can see just piling up on the roadways there, torrential rain. Saw, you know, most areas saw about up to an inch, up to 2 inches in some areas, but look at that. Definitely saw some very, very heavy rain across western New York. Nice captures there, Robert. All right, so watch this cold air here. That's the big story here. Take a look at this. So, yeah, wow, look at the difference here. 60s to the north and 50s, hundreds and upper 90s across the south. Let's see, that is for your Thursday. Watch this into your Friday. Reinforcing shot of cold air across the Northeast. There's some areas that won't even make it to 60 degrees, probably 50 to 55 most likely. Lake effect will be kicking in for your Saturday. Look at this. A little bit of a warming trend into the 60s here across the Northeast, but look at the heat is building with that next area of high pressure. And look at this. We get to September 25th, Sunday. Yeah. The 70-degree line is right around in this area, so not too bad. A little cool up towards the lakes, but, you know, that can be expected this time of year, 60s north of this line. But look at this. As we head towards, that's Monday into Tuesday, here is another reinforcing shot of colder air. That's heading towards the Northeast for likely Wednesday and Thursday. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna River Valley. Look at this. Thursday into Friday. This is the transition to fall. Well, that cold front moved through Thursday. Tumbling temperatures down into the 50s. Struggling to get out of the lower 50s Friday. Blustery with lake effect rain showers. Look at that. 33 for your low on Saturday. Frost and some potentially close to freeze here A very cloudless day, though. Very nice. Your best day, sunny. And Sunday and Monday, the next system moves in with a little bit warmer temperatures, but a chance of showers. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. Don't forget Facebook, social media, MediaMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern, also Susquehanna Weather, also MediaMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com, Twitter @Weather Eastern. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell button if you haven't already. Question or comment down below. Let's keep the weather conversation going. Thanks for joining me.